Hello and welcome to Ukraine in Flames, a special project by Ukraine Crisis Media Center and NGO Euroatlantic Course. My name is Victoria Zabian. If you want to know more, please subscribe our channel to stay tuned. Today is the Ukraine's Constitution Day, and it is a great holiday for an independent and democratic country. Ukraine has come a long way in establishing constitutionality, the challenges of which have often been created by Russia. Prior to Russia's full-scale invasion, the aggressor country seriously tried to impose on Ukraine constitutional changes concerning the status of individual regions and North Atlantic and European course of the state, and so on. And we would like to start this episode with the comment of expert and researcher Olexiy Haran, who explains the details of constitutional building in context of Ukrainian-Russian relations.
Well, I think it's interesting to compare how constitutions, new constitutions, post-Soviet constitutions in Russia and Ukraine were adopted. In Russia, it happened in 1993. After confrontation between President Yeltsin, who was considered at that time as Democrat, and, past-leaning kind of pro-communist Russian parliament. So there was a confrontation which resulted actually in assault on the Russian parliament, and Yeltsin used tanks for that. So the Russian parliament was shelled. Well, I'm not going into details here again, because politically it was understandable that Russian parliament was too conservative, too Soviet-oriented. But how it was done by force. It was dispelled, and then the constitution, the draft of the constitution was adopted on referendum, not in the Russian parliament. And basically the result was that the Russian constitution since 1993 is very authoritarian. It concentrates too much power in the hands of president, at that time President Yeltsin, but it doesn't matter because basically you have the same constitution right now, where the power of parliament and cabinet of ministers is neglected. In contrast, the Ukrainian constitution in 1996 was approved as a compromise between President Kuchma and Verkhovna Rada. It was approved within Verkhovna Rada. It was also a compromise between different political orientations within Ukrainian parliament. And that's why the constitution in its edition of 1996 was also in favor of president. It was quite strong president, but nevertheless, it was quite balanced because the president, in fact, didn't have the right to dissolve the parliament, and the parliament could oust prime minister and the cabinet. So from the very beginning, you know, the constitutional design of Ukraine and Russia, they were different. And even under President Kuchma, even under Yanukovych, this design created possibilities for quite strong role of the opposition and for potential transformation. The constitution is, after the constitutional reform of 2004, created a very European design. So we have now the government which is approved according to the results of the elections, and the government relies on majority in the parliament. So this is quite European design. Why we do have this? Why do we have these differences? Well, actually, it's also connected with the whole Ukrainian history. You know, the history is different of Ukraine and Russia. The political culture is different. In Ukraine, you have traditions of self-government. You have Magdeburg law. there are traditions of democracy in Ukraine. Ukrainians never liked authoritarianism since the time of Cossacks. And political culture, as I have said, is different. So our political culture is more inclined towards compromises. Ukrainians are more individualistic. They do not believe in Messiah. And this all created historic backgrounds why Ukrainian constitution differs so much from the authoritarian Russian one.
Member of Ukrainian Parliament Ivanna Klimpush-Tsintsadze wrote an emotional post on her Facebook page dedicated to Ukraine's Constitution Day. She quoted the author of the world's first constitution, Ukrainian Philip Orlik, who said that no matter how great Moscow violence is, it does not give Muscovites any legal right to Ukraine, and shared her own thoughts. Russians are jealous of free people, and their country cannot compete with them. The very idea that the neighbor should not kiss the hand of the owner, that the neighbor lives better and has dignity, angers Russians. They are not able to be free and responsible for their lives. So they destroy everything they can. That is why they threatened to burn our constitution on Independence Square with such hatred. They want to take away from us a privilege they do not have. Constitution Day is a good opportunity to think about this and realize the great value and, despite all problems with justice, the importance of the basic law of Ukraine. No matter what, Ukrainians do not tolerate wrongdoing. Mykola Davydiuk, political expert and activist, said that on the Ukraine's Constitution Day, Ukrainians must be very careful because of so-called surprises that Russia can give on this Ukrainian holiday. This is the continuation of Russian tradition to shell the peaceful cities and civil buildings. Only during the previous several days, Russian missiles destroyed residential building, kindergarten, shopping mall, and dozens of people were killed.
28-го в День Конституції, знаючи схибленість Путіна на символізмах, ми повинні розуміти, що теж можуть бути прильоти. Тому, друзі, не ігноруйте будь-які власне заклики і власне сирени, і розуміти, що краще пересуватися до бомбосховища і там якраз таки зберігати себе, свою сім'ю, і для того, щоб це власне можна було пройти цю ділянку. Ну і зрозуміло, що в ці дні треба допомагати ЗСУ, треба волонтерити, треба більше донейтити, тому що ми повинні діяти алогічно по тому, як робить Путін. Він хоче нас залякати, ми навпаки діємо і ми завдаємо удару по ньому, і ще більше грошей донейтимо на наші Збройні Сили.
And in the end of this episode, we would like you to listen the thoughts of simple Ukrainian citizens about the Ukraine's Constitution Day and its meaning for Ukrainians. The voices of people is the best proof of Ukrainian dignity, will to victory, and love to our state.
Незалежність, свободу, радість, мир.
Свято України, свято незалежності, і це ми всі знаємо. І для нас це саме, можна сказати, дороге свято, яке ми, на жаль, відзначаємо зараз в війні. Ідентичність народу – це українська мова, її земля, її незалежність. Це все Конституція.
В даний момент це означає дуже багато. І ми маємо пам'ятати тепер про всі державні свята і, можливо, якось більше приділяти їм увагу, тому що вони не просто так з'явилися. Потрібно шанувати Конституцію, потрібно пам'ятати про свою державу. Це гарний праздник.
Це свято для нас дуже шановане всіма українцями, День Конституції. Це наші закони, це наші... Що ми повинні? Ми повинні знати свою історію і вірити і в Конституцію нашу, і в нашу державу, а саме основне – наше військо. Ми свято віримо, низько вкланяємося і бажаємо перемоги, і віримо в наш майбутній переможний прапор.
You've been watching Ukrainian Flames, a special project by Ukraine Crisis Media Center and NGO Euroatlantic Course. In description to this video you can find the information about how personally you can help Ukraine against Russian aggression. Everything is gonna be Ukraine.